Hello and welcome to Ticket to Life. This is Henry. I hope you've had a great day or evening wherever you are in the world. I hope you had a 4th of July that was safe and happy and good if you live here in the U.S. Mine was very quiet until nightfall. There were lots of fireworks where there shouldn't have been, but did it keep me awake? No, it did not. So anyway, I hope you're doing well. And since we were together last week, uh, I wanted to tell you something I tried that I have once. When I was like in my 30s, I woke up with a very stiff neck, and my mom had a chiropractor, and I was leaving on a trip that day with my husband, and I couldn't move my neck. It was like, how we were leaving that evening or that afternoon. So my mom says, you need to go to Dr. Daly. So I did. And I was terrified because I'd never been to a chiropractor. I have that thing, that mesophobia, or whatever it's called, where there's certain sounds. And one of them is bones cracking and popping. And anyway, so I went and he fixed me up, and I went on our trip to Mexico. It was a resort. It was one of our first getaways after being married, but he took good care of me. And I do want to make a correction. That's misophonia, not phobia. But anyway, so for the last 2 weeks, guess what? My neck started hurting. I don't know what I'm doing at night. And the pillow, I don't know what I'm doing, stretched. But anyway, I went back to the chiropractor because my daughter loves their chiropractor, my husband. And so I went, and man, oh man, did she take care of me. I've gone twice. And I only heard one snap, crackle, and pop, and I was fixed. So just wanted to share that story, that my fear is no longer, because I plan to go to her again. I came home and I told my husband, I'm so tired after that. So, of course, I looked it up. It's called the parasympathetic nervous system. That fixed me, and I slept like a baby. I figured that was a lot of stress from the past few years. So I'm relieved. I'm a new person. So I hope everyone's doing fine. Like I said, today I'm going to talk about something that the West Side Family Church in Kansas has been talking about, and that's literacy. I did not know how many adults, children, how this affects people. Because we don't think, when you read, like I like to read, and I take it for granted that there are people out there that do not know how to read, do not like to read, don't want to try to read. And this is so interesting to me. He had some statistics up there, and I was like, what? Because it was unbelievable. Well, as many of you know, I have many friends that are educators, and they have said a lot of these kids are coming into 3rd and 4th grade, and they can't read. And I'm like, well, why are they being, assigned to the next grade? Well, of course, you have to keep moving them up. And I get it. And just because these kids are having problems reading does not mean that they're not intelligent, because they're very intelligent, but yet they struggle in reading. And sometimes parents don't see that. They don't realize this. You need to go be tested, or if you think your child does, you need to speak to their teacher about it. And I myself, I know I do. I was never diagnosed with it, but I can read something and I'll have the words backwards, numbers backwards. But at 68, I've survived. So and again, I love to read. But anyway, the importance of it is so important for you as a parent to read to your kids. Start reading to them when they're in the womb. I was reading to both my kids. I was playing music for my kids, even before they came out for their grand entrance into the world, because it is very, very important to read. 3rd and 4th graders, they're beyond literate understanding. They're thinking while they're reading, making predictions, because they're thinking what the word might say. And if you don't read with your child, I have to say, it's kind of your fault. I mean, unless you too are illiterate, and that's okay, because literacy it's a it's like a disease right now, and I didn't realize that. How many people and grown adults do not know how to read? And I found that it just broke my heart to think, what? I cannot believe that there are people who, I mean, adults that cannot read. Now, adults, yes, if you do not know how to read, I am not insulting you. But, I mean, you've made it to adulthood and you are fine. But it is tough. I don't know if any of you watch Will Trent by Karen Slaughter. They're books, but there's also a TV show, and he's dyslexic. And it just shows how smart he is and shows his struggles with reading, but how he is able to compensate and how he does his job because he's a GBI. But anyway, it's a great show, so I recommend it when it comes back on if you like that kind of shows. But 40% of fourth graders are unable to read anywhere near their grade level. 40%. That is crazy to me. And the fourth graders who don't learn to read, statistically, if they never learn to read, are more likely to drop out of school. Now that is, because reading is so important. And unfortunately, as much as I know I talk about this and our technology, it has taken away from kids reading. It just has. Now, of course, I had a friend and she was a reading teacher and she taught her students, or I do have a friend, and she taught her students how to read, kids, and they were in sixth grade. And I remember our principal always saying, she can teach a rock to read. But you know what? My friend doesn't like to read, but she liked to teach to read. And she was a great teacher. But also fourth graders who don't learn to read, the stats show that if they can't read, that more than likely they will be in the welfare lines, and it becomes like that's all they know because they can't read. They can't even fill out the forms. They have to have someone help them. Some of them become addicted to drugs, and I hate to say this, but some of them wind up going into prison because they can't read. They can't find anything to do. They can't get a job. So as adults, this is their survival mode, is to go to crime. I mean, that's how they survive, by committing crimes. Now, that's not everyone, so don't get your panties all to win a wad or anything. It is true, though. It is a sad thing that so many people and adults do not know how to read. I again had no idea. The importance of reading to me is everything. I just don't, and it's just sad to me. And reciting the ABCs, A B C D, all the kids know the songs, but that's a song. They're not learning the sounds. They may learn the sight, what it looks like. Oh, that's an A. Oh, that's a P. That's a Q. But they don't know what they are. They're just, like I said, it's just a song to them. And it is very hard for adults. I remember I used to work for a bank, and there was a gentleman who would come in here, and he would come into the bank, and he could not write his name. He didn't have a signature. Had money in the account. So he would have to put an X or signature in and have someone, a supervisor, or I guess like witness that he put the X on the paper. That is the importance. I mean, I guess when I took it for granted, I didn't know how bad it was. And again, knowing the ABCs is great, but putting the letters together, that's the hard thing. And I know that a lot of libraries, if you look around, and do not be embarrassed, please do not be embarrassed to ask for help to learn to read. If you have a child and you have never picked up a book, that is the number one thing you could learn for your child. It could be any child's book. It doesn't have to be a 900-page book. A simple book with at one word on each page. It is so important for us to read and for our children to read and take away. I actually have, read some of my books on my iPad. Not a fan of reading them on my iPad because I prefer to have a book in my hand. I like the real thing. But it is just important to learn and teach the kids how to read. And don't rely on your older children, please, to read to your kids if you don't know how. Ask for help. Please ask for help. Now, if you think I'm too old to learn to read, you are not. And I will tell you, my mom, she grew up during the Depression. Yes, she is in heaven with my dad. And they pulled my mom out of school in third grade. And she had to go and work the fields, and they took her to Michigan. Well, there was all the kids, the whole family would go. And that's how they were making their living. So my mom knew how to read a little bit, but she wanted to learn to read. She taught herself to read. My mom could read like no other. It was just amazing. She taught herself to cook. She taught herself everything. She was an amazing woman. I mean, my parents were just the best. But anyway, that's what it's so important for people to know. If you really want to learn, you have that capability. Now, I've talked about this in some other episodes many moons ago about brain plasticity. Because the ability to adapt, to grow, we're going to grow in learning something new. It allows neurons to form and learn. That's like a learning connection. So it is so important. Look, I can't even pronounce the word, and I am not shy. And our English language is not easy. Not easy at all. Now, I do say this, but you're like, well, you're speaking English. It's not hard. Yes, but I've been doing this since I was a child. And I'm sure I was speaking and my mother was said, oh, please stop. But English is, it's very challenging. If you look up the English language, it is so hard to learn, but you can do it. I believe in you. I don't think you should shy away from this. I don't think you should be embarrassed by this. I think it is so important. It will get you through life just being able to read. So I hope that if you have noticed your child having difficulties, again, I forgot to tell you my disclaimer. Disclaimer. Woot, woot. I'm not a teacher. I am not a doctor. I'm not a therapist, an analyst, a love guru, a curandera. I am just Henrie. These are my thoughts. These are my opinions, and these are important for you and your child. I am a big fan of reading. And I've just always liked reading. I was a nerd. I remember if I didn't have a book to read, I'd get the dictionary and look up words. Didn't remember half of them, but it was a good pastime for me. But again, if you're not sure about where to seek for help, call your library. If you have a library in your area, of course, I don't have a library in my area, but if I did, I would call them and see. Honestly, there are actually people on YouTube. And if you have internet access, there are people, teachers on YouTube helping adults, and I'm sure children, learn to read. And that doesn't cost you anything. You might be stuck watching some commercials, but it is just so important. The reading can take you anywhere. We used to read some books. I used to read some books with the kids, and they were called Alice in Bible Land. And that would start off, reading is the key to take you where you want to be. And I so believe that. Phonemic awareness. That's what's going to help you learn to read. The ability to hear and identify the individual sounds spoken in words. You see, you could clap out syllables. I just want you to do this for yourself. If you're having difficulties reading, reach out to a friend. family and ask them to help you learn, because it can change your life. Reading is so amazing. You'd be able to read the Bible or follow the Bible, because I know sometimes when I'm reading it, it's like, oh, I'm almost finished with this. God, I'm sorry, but you know it's true. But anyway, this is my take on the importance of you learning to read, and everyone learning to read and teaching your children to read. And please don't say, I hate to read in front of your kids, because remember, they're going to take right after your path if they hear mom or dad say, I hate to read, because reading is important for you and for your child's future. And ask your kids to be honest. Are you having problems reading? Oh, I don't want to go to a special class to teach me to read. No, that could change your life, kid. The little girl I told you about that was dyslexic, she's an architect now. She's building, she is building hospitals here in the Dallas-Fort Worth area. Okay, I need to say it. I'm so proud of her. She's my niece and my goddaughter. But no, I don't hate to say it. I'm so proud to say it. Yeah, so I'm so proud of her. She did not let that stop her. So don't let it stop you in your future, your kids' future. So important. It's so, so, so important. So on to other topics, such as soccer. The 3 hosting countries, Canada, Mexico, USA, all lost their games. Boos. But they are so much fun to watch. I can't wait to see the big finale, since that's pretty much all we've been watching in the evenings of soccer. But it is fun, and it's so exciting to see those athletes. I mean, it's fun. Hope you've enjoyed them. But the other thing is, I hope you're having a great summer. I hope you're making some good memories with your family. And remember, please, please, please remember, go find your blessings. But always remember, you are not alone in any journey in life. God has a plan for you. You need to ask. You need to pray. You need to tell him everything you need to say to him, even if you're angry. But you know what? You deserve the best, and you deserve God in your life. So please know you are worthy of being loved. You are worthy of being cared for. And don't forget, he knows your name. Isaiah 43:1. So until next week, this is Henrie, and please go read something. I don't care. Get the comics. Go get a comic book. There are adult comics, I think. I don't know, but not dirty ones. Anyway, get something fun for you and your kids to read this summer. And like I said, if it has one word on each page, that's the beginning. Go find someone to help you learn to read. It can change your life. So until next week, please go find your blessings and take care of yourself.